Welcome to another edition of the Boxing Hour with Mark Abrams. We have an absolutely loaded show with 4 guests for you this week. We will have Justin Figueroa, the undefeated junior middleweight from Atlantic City, as well as Sebastian Juarez, the undefeated middleweight. Jack Rafferty, who headlines this Saturday on DAZN, plus Jolene Mizzone of Fighters First Management to talk about her fighters, the aforementioned Justin Figueroa. She's got Justin Paldo fighting on a card Saturday in San Antonio, plus Brian Norman as well. Let's get right down to it. Last Saturday, the big show in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, saw, I think, what most people thought was going to happen. Maybe that not that early or not that explosive, but the blossoming of a potential superstar in the heavyweight division. Moses Atalma, the 20-year-old, destroyed Dillian White inside the first round, stopping him. Atalma, is what they say he is. I think he's got a chance to be maybe the most explosive heavyweight since Mike Tyson. He's a terrific fighter, still just 20 years old. They're bringing him along well. I don't know about the Usyk. I think they should hold the phone on the Usyk fight next. Maybe get 1 or 2 more. Continue on another. They're talking about maybe a Joe Parker, but I think Parker's going to fight Usyk next. He deserves it. Maybe a Caballel. That would be an interesting fight for Moses Atalma. But Moses Atalma is going to be, my opinion, the sky is the limit for Moses Atalma. I think he has a chance to be one of these heavyweights we talk about for years and years and years. The only thing is he hasn't been really hit that much. So what's going to happen when a huge heavyweight cracks him once or twice on the chin, flush, and we'll see what happens. If he comes to it then I think Moses Atalma has a chance to be one of those generational heavyweights. I'm going out on a limb here. But, when we talk 20 years from now, the way we talk about Tyson and Holyfield and Lennox Lewis and Klitschko of, more recent eras, Moses Atalma could be that guy. And even Usyk now, we're talking about him in those terms. So Atalma was terrific. The co-feature saw Nick Ball defend his WBA featherweight championship with a close decision win over Sam Goodman. Scores were 117-111, 118-110, and 115-113 for Nick Ball, who's Britain's only champion. And later in the show, we're going to be talking to Jack Rafferty, who I think has a chance maybe to at least fight for a world title in the near future. Philip Hrgovic won a unanimous decision over David Adelaide. Scores were 98-91 and 99-90 twice for Hrgovic. Yeah, one of the rounds, I forgot which round it was, Hrgovic was on his way to getting knocked out, was somehow able to get through it. It was a tremendous round, and he gets home with the victory. He's now 19-1 with 14 knockouts, and he's now the WBO Continental and WB Continental Gold champion. Adelaide falls to 14-2. Raymond Ford scored a close unanimous decision, close majority decision over Abraham Nova. Scores are 97-93, twice 96-94. The unanimous decision. I don't know why I misread that. Ford is now he's got still 1 loss, 18-1-1, 8 knockouts. Nova falls to 24-4-1 with 17 knockouts. The night before, Pro Box had a solid card and saw Muhammad Yakubov win a 10-round majority decision over William Foster III. Scores were 95-95, and while 2 judges had it 98-92 for Yakubov, who's now 23-1. Foster falls to 19-3. Co-main event saw lightweight Shenard Bunch and Sterling Castillo get it on. Bunch was a guest that was along with Foster last week on the Boxing Hour. Castillo wins a unanimous decision 99-91, 98-92 for Castillo, who's now 21-1. Bunch drops to 21-3. This week, a little bit better action because we got a couple cards on Saturday, one on Friday night. Saturday in England, live on DAZN, Jack Rafferty, 26-0, takes on Mark Chamberlain. That's going to be a really good fight, 17-1. Rafferty is a very entertaining fighter out of England, like we said, 26-0. And with a couple wins, especially over Chamberlain, In fact, when Chamberlain's one loss is to Josh Padley, that catapulted him into a late notice title shot against Shakur Stevenson. But Rafferty is a very exciting fighter. I definitely always enjoy watching him fights, and I had a chance to speak to him earlier this week, and this is what he had to say. Now, join me on the line is undefeated fighter Jack Rafferty, who takes on Mark Chamberlain this Saturday live on DAZN all over the world. Jack, what's happening?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Thanks for having us.
My pleasure. Thank you for taking a few minutes to join us. 26-0, 17 knockouts. Big fight this weekend against Mark Chamberlain. Tell us your thoughts about it.
Yeah, massive fight, live on his own. Queensbury Promotions, headlining first headlining main event against Marc. What a credible opponent. Well, not more than credible opponent. What an opponent, Mark Chamberlain. He's got thunder in his hands. Got a little bit in mind, to say the least. And yeah, it's going to be fireworks in there Saturday night.
He was on a roll before a couple of fights ago where he lost unexpectedly to Josh Padley, and now he's looking to kind of get back on that on that winning mark. I know he's got a win since then, but on that that express train towards a world title. You're 26-0 with 17 knockouts. You think you're getting him at the right time, coming off the loss, couple fights back?
I don't think too much of a loss, but I know what I've done this camp. I know what I've done over the last 12, 14 months. This is my time. The train's going ahead, full steam. This Jack Rafferty train's flying. And Mark's in the way. He's trying to dock me, and I'll be carrying straight on. He's trying to take a bit of my hard work, all my hard work, and it won't be happening. You mentioned the last 12 to 14 months, 6 consecutive knockouts. You're on quite a streak now. Obviously you haven't lost a fight, but what's been, like you said, the difference in those last 6 fights last year or so that you're stopping everybody now? Yeah, it's making every day count. Wanting big things in boxing, it's a tough sport. So, you've got to be strict with it, and I've wanted to make every day count and make something of myself. And like I said, make every day count. Listen to Steve, listen to my coaches, do everything I should do, and get good things out of boxing. Do you consider yourself now being more of obviously a knockout artist, kind of, so to speak, or it just they just happen to be stopping these guys? Yeah, luckily enough, it's rather the trainers or the referees waving it off. No, I'm not going for it. Somebody said, "Oh, you going for the knockouts?" Then knockouts don't come if you go for them. I've tried it. Then knockouts don't come. Break them down round by round. Listen to your coach, and if them stoppages come. Luckily enough, for the last 6 they have. And surprisingly or not surprisingly, it's been against the better, since the competition has stepped up, these stoppages have happened. Yeah. Luckily enough, like I said, there's some class opponents: Henry Turner, Reese McMillan, Corey O'Regan. The list goes on. Mark Chamberlain next. I've seen your last bunch of fights since Frank Warren and Queensbury. They've been on DAZN. Your last few fights. Very exciting fighter. Is that your style? You just like to bring it and fight in a very exciting fashion? Yeah, it's definitely fan friendly. Brings a crowd. Then that's me. That's Jack Rafferty, the Demolition Man. And I'm excited to show maybe another side of me. People think going forward, tight guard. Saturday night, I'm like to show what I've got. I'm in Philadelphia. We're taping this out of America. You feel now being on DAZN worldwide, especially American fans, British fans all over. You a guy like you who maybe was a little bit under the radar for maybe the first 20 or so fights of your career. Yep. You feel now that people know who you are. Yeah, definitely. Like in Frank's office, it says this is where dreams are made of. Frank said, "You shine, and I'll give you the platform to shine," and that's what he's doing. So, good fight at a time. Luckily enough, headlining first main headline, Queensbury, DAZN. I've worked hard for it.
How far away do you feel you are? You know, I know you're not looking past Mark Chamberlain on Saturday night. How far away do you feel you are from, a title shot or maybe a big international type of fight?
Um, yeah, like I said, I've got to do what I'm supposed to do on Mark Chamberlain. There's nothing after that until there is. But a third, win that British outright possibly for Christmas time, and next year see what Jack Rafferty is made of. Like, put me in these big fights. Let's this is what we're in it for. We'll test ourselves. These massive names. Is it a swing? Is it a sink or swim moment? I'm looking to swim.
I'm not asking you to call anyone out or so forth, so forth. But which of the champions maybe do you see yourself maybe matching up best with?
Any of them top 20 in the world. I want to see what Jack Rafferty is made of. Like I said, it's not having a padded record or belonging people out. I want to see what I'm made of. I want to see, have I got it? I want to test myself against these kids, but that's what we're up against. Two fit men train for X amount of weeks, getting in fighting condition, battling it out in a ring. That's what I love.
What do you want to say to the fans in closing before we let you go?
Thank you. You all tune in. Thanks for having us. And I'll be putting a show, The Demolition Man.
And real quickly, where do we find you on social media if the fans want to follow you, drop you a line?
Jack Rafferty 95 on Instagram, Jack Rafferty on Facebook, and get onto us.
There you have it. Thank you for a few minutes of your time. One of the most exciting fighters in the world puts his undefeated record on the mark Saturday against Mark Chamberlain. Jack Rafferty, thank you very much, and we'll hope to talk to you along the way.
Take care. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Jack Rafferty join us. Good young fighter. Good fighter. I've seen him fight a couple of times, like I mentioned in the interview on DAZN. Very exciting. It's to be a hell of a fight Saturday. Chamberlain was on a roll up until a couple of fights ago where he just didn't have his best night. He was, he's 17-1. I mean, the winner's going to really jump into the forefront, top 10 ranking, and probably on their way to some big nights, as I'd like to say. So I like Rafferty in the fight. Like I said, he's a pressure fighter. The fans who haven't seen him fight, and they're going to watch the fight Saturday. He's a good fighter. I like him a lot. I'm glad that he's able to join us, and we're going to be able to interview some other fighters from around the world. We're making a lot of contacts, and I mentioned a little bit last week. We're going to be doing this every day. The Boxing Hour Daily starting in a couple weeks. Got a fight book, as you see, on board, who's going to be helping us out. We have some other cool surprises. I've been working day and night to make this thing. You're going to there's me a day, time of each day. You're going to come and be able to know. You're going to be able to see a couple interviews, get some thoughts, begin interactive. Got some prizes, the whole 9 yards. So just keep an eye out. Beginning in September. Friday and Saturday, MVP and Box Lab team up for 2 solid nights of boxing on DAZN. 2 very good cards. The Friday show will be headlined by John Paul Rivera, 12-0, taking on Daniel Bailey, 15-2, plus Elvis Gomez, 8-1. We saw him fighting on on Showtime Championship Boxing the last couple of years. Take on Edward Humane Jr., who's 9-1. Plus, undefeated middleweight by the name of Sebastian Juarez will be on the card. He's 8-0. He takes on Luis Hernandez. Earlier this week, I had a chance to talk to Sebastian Juarez. Like I said, good-looking middleweight prospect, and this is how it went. Now, joining me on the line is undefeated middleweight Sebastian Juarez, who next Friday night on the 22nd of August takes on Luis Hernandez at the Caribe Royale in Orlando, Florida, as part of the back-to-back MVP fight nights live on DAZN. What's happening?
No, we just got finished with my last sparring, so feeling good, looking good, and just very super ready for this next fight coming up.
Out of Brownsville, Texas, I believe you're working out in Las Vegas?
Yes, sir. Right now here at Las Vegas, Nevada.
And you're with the incomparable Bob Santos as well, one of the top trainers out there. Talk about the move. You're a Texas kid, But, you take your camps out to Las Vegas. Talk about that whole process.
I mean, boxing, yeah, Texas has a lot of strong fighters and everything like that. But from where I'm from down south, South Texas. And we're right next to the border. And, we've known Bob Santos for a while because my older brother, Omar Juarez, he's one of Bob manages his career and everything like that. So we've known him for a while, and we've always been just coming up here, Las Vegas, training, sparring, and Las Vegas has the best sparring in the world. I would say so. Everybody comes here. It's a fighting capital. I think so for boxing, and being out here, the elevation, the mountains, the training with Bob Santos, staying here with him and everything like that, it's just elevated my game. And I'm just very privileged and very blessed to be able to have the opportunity to have somebody like that in my corner.
So it's been pretty seamless because you're obviously, everyone knows your brother Omar Juarez. Pretty seamless. You probably knew, and you being a little bit younger, you probably pretty much knew you were going to go the Bob Santos Las Vegas route, even when you were finishing up your amateur career.
Yeah. I mean, I knew eventually, I was gonna go to Vegas. I didn't know if Bob was gonna train me or not. I mean, he always told us, he wanted to have, more of a trainer role with me. But of course, I was just focused on the amateur at the time, and then once I turned pro, he made sure that he had full control of me. So that's what we're doing now, and I'm blessed and working very hard.
You, as a young fighter, still just 20 years old, you start out your career, fighting the guys, the equally inexperienced guys, and now kind of stepping it up a little bit in your next bout against Hernandez, 12-3. What's the thought process of kind of taking this little jump up in competition?
I mean, it's the same thing as always. I mean, I look at it as a fight. I'm very ready. I'm 100% ready. This camp was amazing, and I'm going in there, with bad intentions and just trying to dominate the whole fight. That's what I do every fight, and that's why come in, no matter his record, no matter who he is. I'm going in there trying to dominate this dude, and I'm just gonna show that I'm on a different level.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, about your amateur career. Like I said, we know your brother's been a pro for several years now. Tell us a little bit about you, Sebastian Juarez. So what can we expect to see from you, your style?
I would say, in the amateurs, I was multiple-time national champion. I was on Team USA for a little bit, and just turned pro, 8-0 now. I would say my style is more of I would say I'm a counter puncher, but when it's time to get dirty, when it's time to get, fight in there like a Mexican, I'm ready. I'm ready. I got that Mexican blood in me, so I'm ready to do what I have to do to win. If that means banging in the inside, that means banging in the inside. If that means staying in the outside, that means staying in the outside. I'm very versatile with my style, and I can do anything that I need to do to win.
Talk about your sign. They've been getting a lot of attention. They got fights on DAZN and everything. It gives you a good opportunity to grow and get the exposure.
Yeah, 100%. Box Lab, we've been seeing it for a while. And we've just been seeing how they take care of their fighters, how they keep their fighters, very active, but they're taking care of their fighters. They're building up from the ground up. They're building from the ground up, and they're I just love how again they have a lot of prospects. They have a lot of people on my level, on my same trajectory and everything like that. So it's a good feeling knowing that you have a promoter and a team that has your back 100%.
Excuse me. So, speaking of your level, we mentioned just 20 years old. How difficult is it? Like you said, you're taking a step up in this fight to go at the right pace. Like I said, just 20 years old. I'm sure there are probably days in the gym or nights coming home thinking about it. You probably see some guy you're watching a fight who may be a former world champion or is 22-0, and you probably say to yourself, "Yeah, I can beat that guy." And you probably, have those thoughts in your head. How is it to be able to say, but, catch yourself, okay, I'm only 20 years old. I got to take the right process to get to that level.
I mean, I trust in my team. I trust in, Bob Santos. He knows how to, keep me on the right track. He knows what pace to get me at. And my dad had me for a little bit for my first couple fights. So my father and my team, Bob Santos, Joey Santos, all those guys, Mauri, they know exactly what to do with me. They have a plan for me. So I'm just trusting in that plan and just, doing what I have to do, which is fight, get ready to fight, and just trust in them that they have a plan for me.
Last, your last fight was at the Caribbean Royale. Fought some in Mexico, some back in Texas. Do you have a preference for your fight, or just where there's a ring, you want to be in it?
Yeah, exactly. I'm a fighter at the end of the day. I'm first a fighter, then a boxer. So I'll fight anywhere. Don't matter.
So you gave something away. I mean, and you like. I mean, like you said, you have that Mexican blood. You like to scrap, don't you?
I mean, yeah. I'm like I said, I'm a counter puncher, but I do like to scrap sometimes. If I have to.
Even though you may be a little bit away from this, the middleweight division is kind of a wide open division. It seems like Carlos Adames and you got Janovic. They want to fight each other, but none of the champions are fighting each other. You ever take a peek up at the top of the middleweight division just to see what could be there in the next couple of years for you?
I mean, of course, yeah. I'm always watching boxing. I'm always seeing how the top level is at 54 and 60. I've been seeing both of them because I mean, you never know. I might get bigger and start fighting 60, 68. But right now I'm around the middle, 54, 60. So I look at both of them, and they're 54 is a stacked division. 60, is a little bit wide open. But I feel like by the time I get to the top, the 54 pounders will probably go up to 160. So no matter what, it's going to be, stacked divisions and both 60, 54. And, I'll be ready for anything by the time I'm there. But, yeah, I'm always looking and studying.
For the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be asking all my guests this question. I think I know the answer to this, just based on a couple of things you said in this interview. Yeah. Canelo or Crawford?
I've been telling everybody the same thing. People forget that it's two weight classes, but Crawford's only had one fight at 154. And I'm not gonna say that he didn't look good, but he didn't look invincible like how he did in 147. So I'm a huge fan of Crawford. Don't get me wrong. And Canelo, he's already getting to the older side. I'm not gonna say he's old, but he's already getting to the point where he's not in his prime anymore. But it's 3 weight classes, man. That's a lot of weight. And then if Crawford still is able to, take those punches and everything, he's not going to be as fast as he was at 147. So I would say Canelo, just because I'm a Mexican and I've betted against Canelo before, and he's proven me wrong a lot of times. So I would probably say Canelo. Canelo probably has that one, but it's going to be a good fight.
It's funny. It's funny, and you're not the first person to say this. You're talking about Canelo, and he's on the other side of his career. I think isn't he 3 years younger than Crawford by the time they fight? I think he's gonna be 3 years younger than Crawford, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
So,
I did not know that.
Yeah, it just seems that way. Canelo, as I look up, I believe is going to be 35, and I think Crawford's going to be close to 38 by the time they fight.
Oh wow!
So, but because Canelo, we've been seeing him since he was the same age of a young kid named Sebastian Juarez. So I mean,
yeah,
he's
been in the high level for basically his whole career. So it's crazy.
Yeah, but on fight night, Crawford will be 2 weeks shy of his 38th birthday, and Canelo's will be 35. So
wow, I did not.
There you go.
Know that. Wow.
What do you want to say to the fans in closing before we let you go?
I mean, just just keep an eye out. Team Trueno, Sebastian El Trueno Juarez, I'm gonna be coming, and I'm barely starting right now. I'm barely getting into my groove and everything with my career. But next Friday, I'm gonna show exactly what I'm made of, taking a step up, and I'm gonna show that there's levels to this, and I'm on a different level. And just keep an eye out for Sebastian Juarez. We're coming.
Next Friday night, Luis Hernandez live on DAZN. Sebastian Juarez, thank you for a few minutes of your time.
Appreciate it.
There you have it, Sebastian Juarez, who good-looking prospect, who is we're looking forward to watching him grow. Just 20 years old, good-looking prospect. Saturday, also in Orlando, the action continues. A bunch of world title fights on the card. Yoenis Diaz, 10-0, takes on Abbas Barrel for the WBO interim 154-pound super welterweight championship. Yanquiel Rivera, 7-0, takes on Angelino Cordova, 19-0 for the WBA interim flyweight championship. Jasmine Artiga, 13-0-1, battles Lynn Sandstrom, 10-3-3 for the WBA Super Flyweight Championship. And Stephanie Hahn, 10-0, takes on Paulina Angel, 7-3-3 for the WBA Lightweight Championship. Also, Saturday night is going to be a card in San Antonio, kind of off the radar kind of card, but a couple fighters from the Fighters First Management stable will be featured. Justin Paldo and Justin Figueroa. And part of the Fighters First Management stable is Jolene Mizzone, who's a longtime matchmaker for main events, was very involved in the careers of Arturo Gatti and Sergey Kovalev and Fernando Vargas for a long time. And she branched out into the managerial section of boxing, along with my good friend Adrian Clark. We'll get Adrian on the podcast in the next few weeks. And Jolene, she's a very knowledgeable boxing person, and like I said, seeing the interview, she's someone you talk 10 minutes with her. Your knowledge of the game, the business, the whole 9 yards will be enhanced immensely. And we had a chance to talk about some of her fighters with Fighter First Management, which includes the welterweight champion of the world, Brian Norman. And this is how it sounded when me and Jolene spoke earlier this week. The computer. Now joining us on the line is one of the co-founders of Fighter First Management, longtime boxing person who has been involved with many, many world champions and future Hall of Famers and current Hall of Famers as well. Jolene Mizzone. Jolene, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Mark?
Thank you for taking a few minutes to talk to us tonight. So the reason why we're talking here, you have a couple of your fighters be back in action on August the 23rd in San Antonio, Texas. Justin Paldo, Justin Figueroa. Talk about what's going down on the 23rd in San Antonio.
Well, we have the 23rd with Desi Martinez Promotions. Kind of, we call it the Fighters, Desi Martinez Fighters First Showcase. Some of our guys that need fights, we like to give them fights and put on a card. We're hoping like twice a year. We also have another one of our fighters that we signed, Joseph Al-Jamari. He's from Fort Worth, Texas. He's also on the card in a 4-rounder. And we have Justin Figueroa in his first main event, fighting for an junior NABF title. So that should be exciting. He's in with a tough kid in Tenon, and then we have Justin Paldo coming back, and we feel this is one fight away from fighting those big fights. He's right there.
Talking about you, it's interesting. You got 3 fighters at 3 different stages going on. You got Paldo, who's been around a little bit, has been in with some guys, and like you said, is knocking on the door of something big. You got Figueroa, who's about 8 or 9 fights in, and now you get the pro debut. Talk about the different, all 3 of them. Maybe a brief scout report on all 3 fighters.
Well, Justin Paldo, he's in himself. He's a throwback fighter. He will fight anyone, anytime. It's a pleasure working with him, and he's been in that spotlight. He's been through the adversity of losing a fight. So that's Paldo. Then you have Justin Figueroa, who's a young up-and-coming fighter from Atlantic City. We signed him from his pro debut, got him all his fights from his pro debut. He's 12-0 right now. And, he's fighting in a main event for his first time. Everybody should, you got to get your feet wet with everything. So he's getting his feet wet with this. And then we have Joseph, who, he's 3-0 now. Adrian actually scouted him out through Derek in Dallas. He was very high on him. And, I'm excited to see him because I haven't seen him fight yet, even with the signing of him. Adrian has, obviously, but I haven't seen him fight live. So it's exciting. You got a pro debut kid. You got a kid in the middle. You got a kid who's right there. So all of them have different stories, obviously.
Talk about, I mean, like I said, you've been doing this a long time. You helped in crafting careers such as Gotti, Fernando Vargas, Sergey Kovalev. I'm sure I'm missing a few off the top of my head. We can keep going on and on and on. What's the type of fighter that you look for when you're looking to sign them to your management contract?
Well, a lot of it is that I like to do when I'm scouting guys is I could watch them in the gym. And, when I'm watching a guy in the gym, the one thing that I always look at is their feet. If they have good footwork, there's something that you could work with. But my most important thing is talking to them outside the ring. To sit down with them and say, okay, why are you doing this? What's the end game? What do you want to see your future? And a lot of their answers on that, I take into consideration because, there's fighters that, I've met with and I said, what is your end game in this? And they said, I want to make all the money I could. I don't want to work with that because if you're confident in yourself, the money will come. I mean, that's a given. I mean, it's proven. You don't got to, prove that to anybody. If you're chasing the money or chasing the fame, and a lot of guys out there there's social media now and, they want to be seen, then there's really nothing I could do with you. If your answer to me is, I want to be a world champion by any means, or I want to have a legacy, then we could continue talking, so a lot of it's outside the ring.
Is there a difference in, maybe looking at or signing a fighter, being a manager as compared to maybe being on the promotional end? Is it, you still look at the same thing or is it maybe a little bit different?
It's a little bit different because, on the promotional side, it's, wherever you are as a promoter, let's say you're Golden Boy or you're on the West Coast, you're going to sign a guy. It's like, what could I do with this guy? What could he be? How could we promote him? Like, at least when I was a promoter, but I know people don't think of that now. You got to think of all those. On a management side, I got to think, what promoter would he fit best with? Does he not need a promoter? Like Justin Figueroa, who sells tickets in Atlantic City. So he's been his whole career, what a lot of guys can't really say it, he's been getting paid nicely for that, so I look, you look at everything. I look at two different ways with a promoter and a manager for sure.
And like you said, Figueroa, we've seen him fight a bunch in Atlantic City. Now you're taking him down to Texas. And especially with the East Coast boxing, like you said, he does well in Atlantic City, which means Philadelphia and New York, that surrounding area. I would imagine the phone's been ringing a little bit about signing him in. I mean, are you close to signing with someone, or do you like taking him around the country a little bit?
Well, right now we're working with Larry Goldberg, who's great. We don't have anything signed, but we're working with him. See, a lot of the reason what some people don't understand why we're taking him out of New Jersey for a fight, and we've done it before, is because we don't want him to get burnt out, and we don't want his fans to get burnt out. So now, if you can't see something, or you missed his last fight because it's in Texas, people are going to fly down. Some are, but not all of his fans. now it makes his next fight in Atlantic City that much more intriguing to you because you missed his last fight. So that is taken in a lot of consideration. And it gets him out of his hometown, the pressures, or because there is pressures.
And I know I would imagine the Figueroa aspect of it might mean a little bit extra to you, considering all the success that you and Kathy filled that 12,600 seat arena 3 times a year. I mean, what would it mean to you as if he would become that kind of draw in Atlantic City?
Oh my God, it would be like going back to those days. And those days were probably my best times in boxing, with the Atlantic City runs with Arturo and being down there and it being fight week. And it just was like, I could tell so many stories about those fight weeks. So like, even till this day, when I go down to Atlantic City and I walk in Caesars, I walk in Bally's, or there's a fight in Boardwalk Hall, that's the first person I think of.
And speaking of Atlantic City, the little self things. I work with the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. I believe you may be a little bit busy in one of these weekends in September coming up. You are getting inducted into the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame again. With first of all, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Very well deserved. But based on the question I just asked, how much does that mean to you? Being that number one, you're a New Jersey girl, you're a resident of New Jersey, and all the success that you had, and like you said, your favorite times in Atlantic City.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's again, I'm going to walk in there, and the first thing I'm going to think of is Arturo and be angry that he should be there and he's not. But yeah, no, it's huge. Atlantic City was like a second home to us, during those years. And, there's a lot of memories, and yeah, it's great being inducted into Atlantic City Hall of Fame, mostly because of the Arturo situation.
What do you see? I mean, do you see the upside with Paldo and Figueroa and the gentleman you just signed? I mean, do you see them as world champions? I mean, you see them competing at the highest level?
Absolutely. There's not a doubt in my mind.
With Paldo, you say he's a fighter away. What? I mean, I know you're not looking past the fight next Saturday night in San Antonio, but what kind of fight do you see him in with a win on Saturday night?
Any and all at 135. And that could go from Tank Davis down. Like those are the fights that we'd be looking for after this.
And I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about, I guess, we'll call him the cleanup hitter of Fighter First Management. The point you got the welterweight champion of the world fighting Devin Haney, November 22nd, Brian Norman. First of all, before I get to that, I don't think right in the middle of that fight, you were right there in the middle of that pushing and shoving. What was that all about?
I was like, what are you all crazy? You're going to ruin the money. Like, what do you like? No, we don't do this. Like, what? Like, it just escalated ridiculously. And that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about, oh my God, his money. This is a great payday for him. Like, what are you doing? Like, and that's why my first reaction, because, when things like that happen, you see black and you don't remember everything. All I seen was Brian had his arm around the security guard, and I seen the security arm. I didn't look at anybody else and what was I just seen Brian. And I was like, what's this guy doing? Is his arm around him? So I just started hitting his arm. Like, what am I going to do? I can't, fight with this guy. But if I could hit him a little bit, I don't know, maybe take his arm off of him.
To talk real quickly, talk about the fights. I mean, November 22nd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, defending his welterweight championship against Devin Haney. To talk about that and how that all came about.
Oh, it was really quick because we kind of talked it into existence when we were in Japan. And a big thing, we didn't know anything about this fight when we were in Japan. The big thing, like, myself, Brian, and his father were talking about were, in a sense, without talking about fights, I was saying to him, you make a statement in this fight, you're going to have a smorgasbord after this fight. Like, you're going to have, like, a variety of guys to choose from, I think. I could be wrong, but I think it, and then all of a sudden this Haney thing came, and we talked as a team, and we really didn't talk as a team because all of us, it was like, you got to get 5 yeses, 6 yeses. It was yes, 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 yes. So there wasn't even any conversation really. Everybody, including obviously Brian, were like, there was no thought. So that's how that came about.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is the new world we live in. I mean, you've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this 24 years. They started talking on social media, back and forth, yapping with each other. Then the fight got made. What do you think about? I mean, like I said, you're a manager now, but matchmaking is in your blood. Matches get made for you on social media now. I mean, talk about the difference now of that compared to.
Well, it's not that different. It's just social media. Here's the thing, people love to take credit. I got this fight done. I made this fight. I made that fight. This fight wasn't done through social media. This fight was done when, kudos to Devin, when both of them, Devin saying, I want to fight Brian, and Brian saying, I want to fight Devin. So, it goes back to contracts don't make fights, fighters do. Period.
Yeah.
So, all these people saying they're on the other side of the street. This one's stuck in that one. That one's stuck in this one. Fighters make fights. So, thank God with both of them, they wanted to make the fight, and that's how easy it got done. But it wasn't really much with social media. It was quick. We made the fight. We came back from Japan the day after we got back, and the fight was made within a week.
Wow. I mean, and again, that was a very impressive performance. He fought Sasaki, and he really. I mean, I still remember those 2 big left hooks
Oh yeah,
the pretty vicious knockout. And it's amazing what this sport is, and a lot of people thought that maybe Boots was just trying, when all that stuff was going on, was trying to handpick him. Now Brian is kind of a boogeyman in the welterweight division, in the sense that he showed his worth in Japan that night.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's like Brian had said to me, and I said to him, in your career, I don't care who you are, you always have to make it the Brian Norman show. So this is your show. You're the boss. You're going to make the decisions, and you're going to decide what's what. So always keep it the Brian Norman show. Don't chase anybody. Don't look for anybody to fight. You're going to be in a position where they're going to come to you.
And speaking of shows, one last thing about this show, just give the fans out there next Saturday night, the 23rd of August in San Antonio, Texas. One last put a cap on that.
I'll have more information, which I'll send to you, Mark. I believe it's being streamed on Desi Martinez Promotions.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's gonna be a great event. We have 10 fights on the card, 3 of our fighters. 7 other fighters are all from San Antonio or the surrounding areas. So you're going to get a little bit of everything on there. You're going to get somebody who's one step from a championship in Baldo. You're going to get the pretty boy Justin Figueroa from Atlantic City, good to look at for the girls. And then you're going to have Joseph, who, in a 4-round fight, I think he's going to be a standout, not only in this card, but in the future for sure.
Always one of my favorite people to talk to when I'm ringside. Jolene Mizzone has a wealth of knowledge. I mean, if any of the fans out there watch her, ever see her fight, look her up. She knows a lot about the business, as you know. And like I said, I learn a lot every time I talk to her in situations like that, or from ringside to fight. Jolene, thank you for a few minutes of your time, and we'll talk to you along the way. And,
no problem.
And maybe we'll get your partner out of Hollywood, Adrian. Maybe he'll come on with us.
Yes, I'll tell him to.
Thanks, Jolene.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Jolene Mizzone, she like I said, very long time matchmaker, knows the business inside and out. Like I said, she's got a world champion. She's got 2 young fighters knocking on the door of some big things. Actually, 3 young fighters be fighting Saturday night in San Antonio, Texas. And actually, the last one, the interview of the night, is with Justin Figueroa, who will be one of the main attractions in that card in San Antonio on Saturday night. And like I said, a very impressive looking prospect, and I had a chance to speak to him earlier this week, and this is how it sounded. Now joining us on the line is undefeated 12-0, 10 knockouts, Atlantic City native Justin Figueroa, who gets back in the ring next Saturday night, August 23rd. He takes on Gerard Tennant, veteran fighter, is 9-5 in San Antonio. Justin, what's happening?
What's going on, Mark? I was just watching you the other night out in Philly. So
good
to see you. Yes, sir. That was a good event that they threw.
No, wow, there was a fight in your backyard that night. You came all the way across the bridge to Philly, huh?
I actually didn't come. I was actually training that night on Atlantic City Beach, so I didn't get to make it to either fight. But after my training, when I got home, I wanted to see the main event because I put in a lot of rounds with Namal Farmer. So I ended up watching. I ended up streaming it, and it was some good talent on that card. Good fights.
Well, if I would have known that, I would have said hello to you on the air. So we'll get that in a minute. So you got this big fight coming up next Saturday night, the 23rd in San Antonio. Tell us what your thoughts on this fight is.
No, I'm really excited to be main eventing in San Antonio for my first professional title. It means a lot. This is a big opportunity for me. And I put all the groundwork in. All the hard work is pretty much done. It's just about losing weight right now, staying sharp. I'm doing a lot of mental training right now, training my mind, seeing it, believing it. All the work I've already achieved it, so I'm ready to fight. I'm doing things like breath work and stuff like that. So all around, I'm definitely prepared. So if a fight breaks out in San Antonio, I'm more than ready for a fight. But I'm looking to go in there and dominate.
Gerard Tennant's a guy. He's been in there with some undefeated fighters, kind of in the same where you're at. Guys like Cangelosi and Marcus Valley, who are known prospects as well as you. What are your thoughts on him?
On the opponent?
On Tennant, yeah.
I think he brings some good experience. His nickname is the Technician. He fights off his back foot. He's a boxer. He throws his jab. Works his jab pretty well. He throws his combinations when he has to. He likes to pick his shots and counter. And that's really good. It's going to be a good experience for me to transition into how I can beat this guy. Usually I've been fighting a lot of Kung Fu guys, Mexican style type guys. I'm able to turn them and box them and get them out of there. But for me to really be the one that's coming forward and bringing the pressure this fight, it's going to show me something. I can't wait to see the performance. I've been working on all camp coming forward. And I'm bringing a fight to him. So I don't think he's going to be able to run and counter from me for too long. I'm bringing it to him from round one. But I'm expecting a good fight. I'm not looking past this guy. I'm expecting a good fight. A lot of respect for this guy. But when the bell rings, there's no respect. Let's get it on.
What's it mean to you, Fighters First management signing? You've got Adrian and Jolene, two people who have been in this business a long time. And what's it mean to you? You have a good team behind you.
I mean, yeah, that's what it really takes to be successful in this business. There's a lot of good fighters out there, but they just don't have the team as in coaches. They don't have the team as in management. They don't have the team as in the city behind them to put the butts in the seat. They don't have the team at home where they may be getting supported or getting loved, and they have to go to work all day and strain themselves at work. So then they can't really come home and put their all in training. And I have everything. I have the team training wise. I have the team management wise. I have the good family, the great girlfriend. I have the city behind me. So everything for me has success written all over it. I feel like I'm pretty much divine for this. I'm ordained for this. But talking about my management company, they've been doing a great job moving me very, very well on the chessboard. And I'm going to keep letting Jolene Mizzone do her thing. I'm not rushing in anything. I'm a very patient guy. And whenever she feels like it's the time for me to take that step, I'll be ready. But this is my first big step right here. My first 8-round fight, main event in a city that's not my city, and my first professional title. So I'm looking to see this opportunity.
As you know, the history of Atlantic City boxing, and I'm, just editors know, member of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, the history of Atlantic City boxing and what it was and maybe what it could be again. I mean, you ever think about, a guy like you could be the next maybe draw down at the boardwalk?
I believe so. I think I am the draw now, and it's growing, continuing to grow. So as long as I continue to grow as a fighter, then the butts in the seat is going to continue to grow. So I believe I am that next guy up here in Atlantic City. But we have multiple promotions, local and not local, coming here and throwing shows in Atlantic City. So Atlantic City boxing is getting revived, along with the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame that keeps boxing alive here in Atlantic City. So big shout out to the AC Boxing Hall of Fame. But I'm not too sure if we're ever going to get back to the mecca of boxing, to what it once was, where Atlantic City was the place to go to, pretty much the only place that was really putting on the boxing shows, the mecca in the world of boxing, Atlantic City at one point. Not too sure if we're going to get there, but we could definitely be recognized as a good boxing city. Atlantic City will be recognized as a fighting city once again.
When I talked to Jolene, and she was right in the middle of everything, Gotti Mania, when he was putting 12,600 people in that venue 3, 4 times a year. Have you dreamt that at all? Daydream, said, you know what, that's going to be me soon. That building right on the boardwalk. There's going to be over 12,000 people rooting for me.
Of course, that's a dream. But I don't dwell in that dream for so long. It's just a glimpse for me when I get there. I'm more of a guy who likes to, when I take walks with my dog, I walk with no shoes, I ground. And when you're grounded, when you're walking with no shoes, I'm watching every step that I take. So same thing with my career. I'm watching every step, every fight that I take. I'm worried about each step. I'm worried about every fight, one step at a time, one fight at a time, making sure I don't step in any glass, step in any dog shit, nothing like that. I want to make sure everything is done properly, step by step by step. And once I get there, I'll look around, 12,000, 10,000, double digits, butts in the seats, and I'll look and say, you know what? I really made it. This is a dream here in Atlantic City, in my hometown, to put this many butts in the seats. And I'll be able to lay in the basket peacefully after that.
12-0 now. This time next year, we could be talking. We can have the same conversation. 16, 17-0, knocking on the door, maybe fighting for those regional belts that will help maneuver you into the top 15. Is that the way you see it?
Oh yeah, I would love for it to go down like that, but I am not the manager. I'm the fighter. And Jolene Mizzone and Fighters First Management, they're like I said, they're handling me on the chessboard. And however they see it suits me well to move correctly on that chessboard, then I'm all well with that. I enjoy training. I have a great team. We enjoy, all of us, from my coaches down to me, the fighter. We all enjoy what we do. I make pretty good money from fights, so I'm not trying to rush anything because I'm doing this for money. I'm doing this because I love it. So I want to make sure I do everything at the right time. And when it's finally my time, I want it to be just in time.
Do you look at some of the other guys? I know I mentioned a couple of the other guys at Tennant's Fall. Do you look at some of the other guys the other guys who are kind of where you're at now in 154-pound division? Say, you know what? I know you take everything one fight at a time, but I mean, do you keep an eye on just what's going on around you with some of the other fighters?
No, not really. I hear about them. I see them every once in a while when I go to certain cars or I'm watching certain cars. So of course I hear about, we're all in the same field, so we're gonna hear about each other and see about each other. I don't really care for so much. If it makes sense, then we'll meet at the top. But best of luck to them on their journey. Everybody has their own different journey and different road. I have a phenomenal one going on so far. So I'm gonna worry about my journey. And like I said, if it makes sense, then we'll see each other at the top.
Now, you've been fighting a lot at the Tropicana here in AC. Hopefully, we'll see you back there at least one more time before the end of the year. Is that what you're hoping?
100%. You could definitely see me in Atlantic City, most likely at the Tropicana.
Last couple questions for you. How many White House subs have you devoured over the years?
I mean, over the years, the past 3 years, turning professional,
Yeah.
fighting at 154, I'm pretty much sucking down to get to 154. So I have to lay off the White House cheesesteaks. But I do have my times. I think the last time, actually, I had one this summer.
There
I
you
wasn't
go.
trying to have one this summer because I've been cutting weight, but working on the Atlantic City Beach Patrol, I'm working as a lifeguard, and this lady on the beach comes up and hands the lifeguards a bag of White House subs and goes, "You guys been doing a great job all day. Thanks for watching my kids." So she
That's
hands us
great.
the White House subs, and while I'm working on the beach, I devoured that. And then, well, thank God that happened, because about 20 minutes later, we went on back to back rescues, and we had to save a bunch of people back to back with the
Oh,
rip
wow.
current. So I was able to turn that cheesesteak from the White House into fuel, into energy to help
There
me
you
perform
go.
in those rescues.
So you're one of those guys who throws me off the beach because I don't have my beach badge, right? Is that you?
Well, in Atlantic City, it's a free beach.
Okay.
So anybody, yeah, there's no beach badges in Atlantic City. That's what makes Atlantic City such a great beach.
Yeah,
Free
I
to
know.
the
I knew that growing up. I didn't know how it was. I know Margate, Ventnor, some
yeah.
of those places.
Brigantine, you're gonna need your beach pass.
Well, we'll put it this way. Even if you don't, I'm not messing with a professional boxer. He says you got to go, you got to go. So I'm out there. What do you want to say to the fans in closing before we let you go? See you next Saturday night, August 23rd. Takes on Gerard Tennant live in San Antonio.
Yeah, August 23rd in San Antonio, Desi Martinez Promotions. I will be headlining for my first professional title. I'm really excited. I put the work in, and the work shall show. Hard work does not go unnoticed. So I'm looking to put on a phenomenal performance. I would like to get him out of there, but he seems pretty game. So let's give San Antonio a great fight. But I'm looking to bring that belt right back to Atlantic City.
And where we find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at Justin Figueroa.
There you have it, Justin Figueroa. Thank you for a few minutes of your time, and maybe one of these times down in Atlantic City, I'll get you a White House sandwich when it's like not training season.
For sure. I would love that. Thank you, Mark.
There you have it. Thank you so much, Justin. Justin Figueroa gets back in the ring on Saturday night in San Antonio, Texas. Takes on Gerard Tennant. A couple news items this week. The full card for Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford was announced this week. The 4 previous fights were announced by Turki Al-Sheikh a couple weeks ago, but some YouTube fights, a couple good fights there. Hank Bohochuk taking on Brandon Adams, Ivan Ditchko, Jermaine Franklin Jr. headline plus Stephen So-Called Nelson. Try to get everyone on the show in the next few weeks. A lot of the fighters from that card will be out there every day, podcasting every day live from the I don't know where it's going to be, but we'll be at one of the big casinos, host casinos, podcasting every day, guests, the whole 9 yards, the vibe, all kind. We'll interview some fans. Everyone's going to be in town that week, so I can't wait to be out there. I'd like to thank our guests. Who we got? Sebastian Juarez, Jolene Mizzone, Justin Figueroa, and Jack Rafferty. Hope everyone joins us next week on the Boxing Hour. Mark Ames will stay tuned for all the announcements, what we're going to be doing starting September 1st, first in boxing, and then some other sports-related content